Good morning, my loves. Happy Thursday. Beautiful day here at the lake. It's still in the 80s. I know that's evil of me to show you the sun's coming up. It is a gorgeous day here. So, the topic for the day, problems are as big as you make them, bottom line. And if parents regulate their energy, their emotions, their attitudes, kids will regulate theirs because it's a learned behavior. We fail to think about that at the time, of course. And, it goes back to, and this is the easiest way for me to explain it. My mom would come freaking unglued at the drop of a hat. Oh my God, what the hell? And it's nothing. Attention-seeking behavior. That's all it was. She was wanting everybody to feel sorry for her and, oh my God, you poor thing, let me take care of this. It's a her thing, not a me thing. Of course, as a child, you don't realize that. As a child, early on, a child will copy that behavior. It's a learned behavior. Think about a baby. When a baby is born and you bring it home, you're holding the baby, you're calm, you're happy, you're nurturing. This is for moms or dads. You're in your zone with the baby, and the baby is happy and calm. If you are stressed, upset, in an argument with somebody, that baby's going to be fussy. The baby picks up on your energy. As the baby becomes a toddler, they're going to see how you respond to frustration, to joy, to grief, to all kinds of things. And they are going to mirror that behavior. They're learning from you. That's why they call it a learned behavior. So I want you to think about it. Think about your responses to situations, how your parents or whoever raised you, how they responded to situations. The other day I was out and I saw somebody in their jammies, middle of the day, they're in their jammies and their house shoes. I'm sorry, I can't do that, but they're in their jammies and their house shoes, and they ran into somebody they saw somebody at the store that they obviously liked a lot. And this person saw them, and this person was not prepared physically by the way they were dressed or emotionally by the way they responded to see this very attractive person. And they were embarrassed. Instead of stepping behind something like, I'm just going to disappear till they walk past. No. What did they do? They said, oh my God, they did this, they bent down, they squatted down all the way to the floor. They made a big production out of it. The person never would have noticed them. They would have just blended into the scenery, but they called attention to their behavior. Now, they were with some other people and some kids, and something happened with one of the little girls. I don't know what it was, but the little girl mimicked that behavior. She screamed, oh no, covered her face and squatted down. Learned behavior. Learned behavior. The little girl was maybe 3. Probably didn't, truly realize what the heck was going on, but she mimicked the behavior. So check how you handle situations, how your kids handle situations. Are they mirroring your behavior? Sorry, the sun is really getting bright. Let me turn around here. Okay, a little bit better. Are they mirroring, copying your behavior? Because like I said, it's a learned behavior. Are your behaviors the behaviors of your parents? For many years, my teen years, my behaviors, I was very shy out in public, but at home, I would overreact. Absolutely, positively, every single time, I would overreact. I got that from my mom, a learned behavior. Later in life, I realized that's a learned behavior and it's stupid. Why the hell am I doing this? No. And I changed my behaviors. It's that easy. You just have to check yourself. I used to have anxiety. Something would happen and, my heart would start to race. I would just kind of have a bit of a panic attack. Learned behavior. It was still being triggered by the overreacting. It had stepped down, but it was still there. And then I realized it's a situation. It's going to pass. Deal with it head on. That's the end of it. I don't do that now. But it's just recognizing the behavior and changing your behavior. It's that easy. But with children, so often, the parents are exhibiting this behavior, the kids are exhibiting this behavior, and the kids are being disciplined for it. They're being disciplined for the parents' behavior, for copying a learned behavior. That's not fair. That is not fair. It is not, what is it? Do as I say, not as I do. Come on. Just think about this. If you don't like the way your kid is behaving, check your behavior. If your child is disrespectful, check your behavior. Are you? How do you speak to your child? How do you speak to family members, to friends, to neighbors? Check your behavior. The problem is as big as you want to make it. If you don't like your child disrespecting people, talk to your child about it. That is not acceptable in this house. We do not behave that way. Don't care how your friends act. We do not behave this way. And if you've been behaving this way, tell your child, I know I've been doing that too. We're both going to stop right now. Do it together. Your child will love that. It's not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of growth and taking accountability. Absolutely. You have to be accountable. Parents are people too. You're allowed to screw up. But be accountable. It's okay to say, I'm sorry, I made a mistake to your child. Now, I know a lot of parents out there are just going to fall over. But it's okay to admit you're human. It's okay to say, I made a mistake. It's okay to say, I overreacted. Lord knows I did. When my son was growing up, I would ground him, put him on restriction, whatever you want to call it, at the drop of a hat. If I overreacted, I would wait till I calmed down a little bit and say, hey, okay, I may have overreacted just a little bit. However, you're still in the wrong, and I will modify the punishment XYZ. They're still being punished. You're showing them you're human, and you're admitting you made a mistake so that they learn it's okay to admit that you're wrong. Because it is. It's okay. Again, the problem is as big as you want to make it. Look at your behavior. Look at your child's behavior. Look at your family's behavior. Your parents. How did they handle situations? Did they explode? Were they docile? My dad? Docile. Daddy rarely got upset. And when he did, I don't know. That was Dad upset. That was it. He was docile. He was calm. And I realized that. I would have mirrored that behavior earlier in life, but I didn't, because kids will tend to mirror the same sex. So I mirrored my mom. But just look at the behavior. Look at the behavior. If you want a calm house, be calm. Provide a calm environment. The problem is as big as you want to make it. Don't turn up the heat. Don't stir the pot. The kids come in with bad grades. They come in with the crisis du jour. You come home from work with the crisis du jour, because we all know that happens all the time. Don't bring it in the house. The problem stays outside the door. Other than homework, that has to come in. But the house is the safe space. Allow your home to be a safe space. Be a safe space for your child, so they know they can come to you no matter what. When the shit hits the fan, their first thought is not, oh God, I don't want mom to find out. I don't want dad to find out. Their first reaction, their first thought is, I need my mom. I need my dad. I got to tell them what's going on. That's what you want. Be their safe space. The problem is as big as you want to make it. Their problems, what they get into, can be doozies. I deal with families whose kids get pregnant. They've gotten somebody pregnant. Okay, it's over. It's done with. They're pregnant. Yelling at them about it now isn't going to do anybody a lot of good. Talking to them about future behavior, oh yeah. But screaming and yelling isn't going to resolve anything. Don't bother. You're just upsetting everybody. Don't bother. Address it coolly and calmly. Get the expectant mom to a doctor to make sure she's healthy. Talk to the doctor, talk to clergy, make your decisions as a family. And to the young man involved, he needs to, have a long talking to about a couple of things. Birth control, using a condom, abstinence, which for most teens, that's not going to happen. Talk to them about it anyway. About using a condom from the beginning, not in the middle of the act, not when you decide to, hey, maybe this is going to go a little further, oops, almost forgot, let me put on a condom. No. From the get-go, put it on. Accidents happen from the beginning, not in the middle, at the end. Put the condom on. And also let them know about sex with underage partners. I have to include that in there. Because just because your child is 15 and involved with somebody else that's 15 or 16 or 14, it doesn't matter. If your child is underage and they're in a sexual relationship, it's illegal. It's against the law. Sodomy is against the law. Rape is against the law. There is not consensual sex if you're a child. If both parties are kids, it doesn't matter. It's against the law. Either party, the initiating party, can go to jail. Think about it. Talk to your kids about it. But don't blow it out of proportion with screaming and yelling. It's not going to solve anything. It's just going to upset everybody, and they're going to shut down. When they shut down, they're not going to listen. They're not going to hear. They're not going to talk. They're going to get defensive. The walls are going to go up. Talk to them. Same applies if your child is caught drinking, doing drugs, whatever. Screaming and yelling is not going to do anything except make the situation worse. Yes, you are going to react, and it's okay to feel whatever you feel, but it is not okay to become violent. It is not okay to hit your child, strike your child, scream, yell, get in their face. It's not going to do any good. And you're thinking, I'll put the fear of God in them. I think getting caught probably did that. Be calm, okay? The problem is as big as you want to make it. Stay cool, stay calm, stay collected. Regulate your emotions to regulate your child's emotions. Regulate the environment to regulate your emotions and your child's emotions, okay? Just something to think about.